Millennials will often post NBD on their social media after doing it, as in, no big deal. Also known as the humble brag. Wondering if Spidey can get into that in some way. NBD.
Ha! Got him!
So, I know you guys got a couple of questions for me. First of all, where the heck is Regeneration Part 7? What'd you think about Spider-Man Homecoming? What'd you think about MJ-ish? What do you think about superheroes in general at this point? Where the fuck is Regeneration Part? Well, it's a long, complicated, potentially interesting explanation for that. One that requires a couple of rewrites, an all-new editor and director altogether, but in short, I bypassed the compressor. So a couple of things here. I am working on Regeneration Part, and I'm also working on mini Lego videos. However, a couple of scenes that I need to film require a printer. So what I need you guys to do is go to my Patreon or go to my Amazon and buy me a printer, please. It'll go towards the show. And then in 2 weeks, I'll need another printer because this printer is gonna stop working. So make sure you buy stuff from me. You wallet pigs. Yeah, you're gonna buy me stuff. Okay, moving on. Recently, and by recently I mean a fucking while ago, Bill Maher said some pretty controversial things on his talk show, Real Time with His Name. Apparently, and this was a while ago, but it didn't blow up in the news as I thought it would. Well, it really did offend the fuck out of me, but apparently something else he said was dominating the news cycles at the time, and he almost lost his job over it. Something about a house in Niger. I don't know, I don't watch Game of Thrones, I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. Game of Thrones is for plebs. I didn't read the story, I just read headlines. Alright, I read the headline, maybe first sentence. I'm not gonna read what am I? I just read the headline. And then maybe the first sentence or two. So when it's brought up in conversation, I say something really, really non-engaging, like, wasn't that the Y who did X? And the A that did... Anyway, here's the bit that triggered me.
But that's not how Hollywood ruined America. It did it by making everything about superheroes. Listen to this lineup of TV shows currently on the air. Daredevil, Flash, Gotham, Supergirl, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Legends of Tomorrow, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Arrow, Preacher.
All right, I'm going to pause the clip super fast here. I'm going to get right back to it, but I didn't catch this the first time I saw this. It's very ironic that he would include Preacher in this list, because Preacher isn't based off of a superhero comic. It's based off a comic, but it's not a superhero one. And two, Garth Ennis, the creator of the comic book series, isn't really the biggest fan of him.
He stinks, and I don't like him.
And I just find it super ironic that he's just been carelessly added to the list of superhero shows. Garth has expressed some of these ideas in a way that some has felt and described it as edgy, try hard. Cringe is definitely one of the words that I would put in that list. But I would take all of it over what Bill has done. Even though Bill would mock and scoff, and cringe was one of the words I used at a lot of Garth's stuff, because he technically kind of did. Yeah, I take it. Garth's points have been more cohesive. I don't agree with all of them, but I agree with a decent amount of them. And I'll leave it at that. Whatever. Gotham isn't technically about superheroes, but you know what? Fuck.
Iron Fist, which I hope is not porn. In the fall, we're getting more. The Defenders, The Gifted, The Punisher, Krypton, Inhumans, and that's just TV. At the multiplex last year, we had...
Alright, I'm gonna drop in one more time. I swear to God, this is gonna be the last time. Thanks, Bill, for reminding us how all of our grandfathers say the word movie theater. It's not that funny, guys. Seriously, Bill, get control of your audience. Bring up that house in Niger. That'll shut him.
Captain America 3, X-Men 6, Batman vs. Superman, Deadpool, Doctor Strange, Suicide Squad, and Ninja Turtles 5. And already this year we've had Wolverine 3 and Lego Batman, with Wonder Woman, Justice League, Spider-Man 6, and Thor 3 in the can. And if you had that many guys in your can, you'd be Thor too.
Please clap.
And if you're asking what's the problem is that superhero movies imprint this mindset that we are not masters of our own destiny, and the best we can do is sit back and wait for Star-Lord and a fucking raccoon to sweep in and save our sorry asses. Forget hard work, government institutions, diplomacy, investment. We just need a hero to rise. And so we put out the bat signal for one man who could step in and solve all of our problems very quickly. And that's how we got our latest superhero, Orange Sphincter.
Bane.
So how does this superhero story end? What is the fate of Orange?
Bane.
Well, this one is a little bit trickier because in this one, the superhero is the villain. And that should make us all remember that in this fight for America, we need to be our own superheroes.
First off, I want to say there's nothing particularly unique about the fact that people voted for President Trump. Controversy aside, I mean, this is what always happens. People choose a person that they think would be a good leader for their party, and then after the respective primaries roll around, they vote for someone else. Simple. He's basically making this out to be this is the situation of hero worship is somehow unique to Trump. Like, if everyone engaged in hero worship, Trump would be the logical conclusion, and not someone like Hillary Clinton. I generally agree. Yeah, hero worship is very unhealthy because people can't possibly live up to those unrealistic expectations. However, as a politician, you literally feed off of unrealistic expectations. Who else could we extend this hero worship to? Well, we could extend it to Obama. I mean, we could extend this to any president who's had a lot of hype. So where is Bill wrong here? Well, I think he's wrong in that hero worship isn't the reason why people like superhero stuff. I mean, various people have various reasons why they like watching this stuff. I have my own reasons, but I don't think people self-insert as the civilians in the story. Those nameless, faceless, sometimes complete dipshit civilians throws trash at the superhero who says that they're a menace. The hapless dipshits who just walk into every little incident and needs to be saved constantly. Yeah, you know, the average person can just really positively relate to being a complete fucking... So when you get to the ending bit about being your own hero, that's literally the entire superhero metaphor. I mean, it's such a palpable metaphor that you can arrive at that logical conclusion completely by accident, going against the medium in its entirety. So his point about unoriginality, his point about hero worship, his point about oversaturation, I mean, some of those points are legitimate. I think the oversaturation point is too. And I myself have, admittedly to a small degree, I've had a hand in this. I mean, I can't really say that I haven't because I'd be downplaying any involvement I have, but I can't say I did a lot because I'd be overhyping any involvement I've had. However, actually, if you ask my subscribers, they'd ask if I oversaturate just a tad bit if it's not too much of a bother for me. All those points are practically meaningless. They are legitimate points with some relation to one another, but in relation to his main point, there's no connection. They're just there to buff up his line one argument. So like 80% of this bit is just how many there are. 20% is just his main argument at that. I mean, I'm editing this together and it's a lot. He spends a lot of time just going through each individual adaptation. These are more adaptations than just superhero things. It's a better umbrella for what he's describing here. It's weird how people constantly misinterpret what relatability means in a character. And if I may reach on to another point about relatability and character writing, I think people don't understand what it is anymore. In today's context, relatability just simply means the character has to look like you. It's an external thing, like gender or race. Well, I guess some of that stuff is internal too, if you know what I mean. I understand relatability on that level. A thing goes off in your head when you see someone who looks like you, and by extension your family, and you empathize with them easier than if they didn't. But that can only go so far, and that's oftentimes used as an excuse or justification for bad character writing.
It's also hard not to say f yeah after reading this new series penned by Gabby Rivera, which stars a no-taking LGBT Latina superhero with incredible strength, speed, and the ability to tear holes in time itself. The art style is superb and the commentary is biting in places, but it's the sense of confidence that this series carries which is its biggest boon. I mean, just look at the cover of issue 2 just to see how much style this title drips with. But it's not just looks, for the action and writing is also top quality, and therefore is well worth a read.
I'm literally intrigued and in awe of both of them. This is what it's like to date other women, and I applaud all the women dating women right now, because this is incredible. Motorcycle courtship chase, check. Missiles and explosions, yup. And we're just flying together in the sky, heading to a giant heart. I swear, if they come back married, I'm going to be so jealous. Always the bride's best archer, never the archer. Holy menstruation, Batman. What the bloody hell am I reading? Hey, guys, what's black and blue and red all over? That's, it's best if I don't answer that joke. But it's not this comic. Alright, we need someone to write this America book. We need to start pushing her. But here's a caveat. I'm afraid of minorities, so I don't want to upset them. Which is more offensive than really anything a racist person can probably say. Because I'm supposedly on their side. So we need someone who is both Latina, or Latina X, female, and LGBTQB. 34, hut, hike. And someone who has read a number of comic books and is a fan of comic books and understands how to tell a story within a particular genre. Well, hey, you know, alright, we need someone to write Black Panther because, well, basically we're in the same situation we were with America Chavez. Hello? Hey, priest, it's me, Steven, you remember me? Yeah, sure. Sure. Hey, yeah, over here at Marvel, you know, we're doing a new run of a classic character, and you know, it would be, we had you in mind, we had you pinned for this because we thought you would just be the best and save us from any hassles down the pipe work, if you know what I mean. So you know, first of all, I just want to hold on. It's not Black Panther, is it? Well, see, you know, I'm gonna get to that. Hello? Well, I've been eyeing up this other guy. He's done nothing but non-fiction his whole career. His thing is he's a non-fiction writer. That's his thing. That's his job. That's what he chose. That's what he chose to do. Am I coming across clearly? The stuff that he writes has nothing to do with what we are hiring for. Do you get it? He chose to write non-fiction articles, mostly pertaining to economics and politics. He hasn't even written anything fictitious. Not on purpose. Well, I don't see what the problem is. He can write. And it's just that easy, folks. Just the most blatant form of preferential hiring, which in film and television and such, I don't actually have a problem with in principle. That's sort of the point in preferring to hire someone for a film. Demographics don't necessarily need to be one-on-one for any film or television show. Especially if that particular demographic makeup is out of date for the specific time period that you're portraying. Like with many things, what is the cost that you're willing to pay for this? At best, you imply that the person that you're hiring really isn't all too qualified for the job. You imply that everyone working on this project or this product or this movie or whatever doesn't really give two halves of a shit about what they're doing. They kind of don't. And at worst, at the absolute worst, and this is outlier territory, this rarely happens, but at worst, someone ends up losing their life. A real person, not a character of color, also known as a COC. Now, why did the filmmakers have to pull a Crash Landis? Here's a creative challenge for Fox here. How do you make one person of a certain ethnicity match how a character looks of another ethnicity? One that has a very specific color scheme. I know. Let's give her vitiligo. That's right, guys. They gave her the MJ disease. No, not that MJ. I guess to save time and money and frustration in the makeup chair, like they had to suffer through with Jennifer Lawrence, now they only have to paint just that tiny bit of her face with vitiligo. And a very rare case of vitiligo that isn't actually symmetrical across one's body. And she's also portraying a very rare form of domino. It's not that rare, but it's not really all that Anyway, earlier, when I asked, what was the price that you're willing to pay? In Fox's case, more videos coming hard, guys.